Hi guys, PJ here. Today I am working on a 2013 Mitsubishi Outlander and I'm going to be hardwiring this dash cam into the vehicle's fuse box using this fitting kit. It's highly recommended you do buy a fitting kit for your camera if you're going to be hardwiring it in. It just makes life a whole lot easier. So what we'll first of all do is have a look what's in the fitting kit, and then we'll go quickly through what tools I recommend to get the job done. Okay, we've got the contents of the box here, and what you basically get is a replacement power cable, this one terminating in a mini USB there, and the other end a earth cable which we will connect to chassis earth behind a reasonable bolt or screw that goes direct to metal. That's your earth cable. And then we have a power cable that will connect to the fuse box. This has got a bullet on the end to connect to a fuse spur. 3 different sizes depending on the vehicle. This particular vehicle uses mini blade, which is sort of the most common one nowadays. And what these do is basically double up one fuse socket into 2. So in other words, we'll be removing a non-critical fuse, an accessory fuse, plugging this in its place, and what you've got here is 2 slots. So we have a 2 or a 3 amp here to run your camera, and the original fuse that you pull out of the fuse box goes here next to it. So in effect, creating a fly-off power cable to plug onto your wiring harness that comes with it. So very handy. The other bits that you get in the box, you get the large one. This is normally commercial vehicles. Some of the Mercedes are still used this size, but generally not used much. Microblade, a lot of the newer stuff, new Ford Focus, etc. uses this very tiny version, but they're of no consequence to your vehicle. This is a ferrite filter, and what this does is basically you wrap the camera end of the cable round this, and it's to reduce DAB radio interference. I do say reduce because if you've got a camera and you've got a rear camera going in, sometimes it can interfere with your DAB radio. Consult your retailer for information on that. All this does is pop open on a hinge, so we've got 2 clips here. We undo those, there's the hinge on the back. We lay it open, and then basically we put the cable through the middle of it, wrap it around the back of it, and then through the middle of it again and out, and then snap it shut. I'll show you it very shortly. Let's quickly move on to what tools are ideal to get the job done. Basic kit. Long nose pliers, I use them to remove the fuse out of the fuse box because they're normally recessed, quite hard to get to, so it's personal preference. You don't have to use them. You can use the little plastic thing that comes with the vehicle. It's just they can be fiddly, and if it drops, you're going to drop the fuse down the abyss of the dashboard and probably never get it back again. So that's why those are there. Probably the most important tool of the whole lot is a plastic leverage tool. These can be, eBay, Amazon, car shops sell them, that type of thing. They're normally about £1, and basically they stop you damaging your dashboard. Don't use a screwdriver, guys. You'll put dents in it. It'll look awful. Get yourself a little plastic leverage tool, well worth the money. Roll of electrical tape just for a bit of insulation and tidying up your cabling when you're done. A multimeter or one of those test probe screwdrivers that light up when you touch something. So what we're going to be doing with this is touching the top of the fuse and making sure it goes on and off with the ignition, which I will show you very, very shortly. Okay, I'm just going to touch on what I mentioned earlier about the ferrite filter. So I've just grabbed the cable, I've popped the ferrite filter on. There you go, one ferrite filter fitted. So like I say, it opens up and you wrap your cable around the back of it. So you lay it across it, round the back of it, lay it across it again, snap it shut, and that is how you fit it. And you're basically only going to be wanting about that much cable showing from the headlining of your vehicle. So what you're going to do now is start running your cable from the headlining. The headlining is very soft. You don't need to go at it like a bull in a china shop. You normally get your fingers and just ease it down. So here's my power cable. Yeah, like I say, get your fingers behind and flex. Look, flex it all the way along. I've got the camera, we're going to have the camera mounted right next to the rear view mirror. This is a right-hand drive car and the camera is just to the left of the rear view mirror. We're going to tuck this cable up all the way along until we get to here, which is the A pillar. And we're going to pop the A pillar off, which normally can be done with your fingers. They're normally pretty easy on these. Yeah, there you go, guys. Now you're going to pop your cable behind the airbag, yeah, and then run it all the way down the edge until you get to the dashboard. To pop this back on, it just pops on. Literally, just give it a tap and it'll go back on. Next up, let's have a look where the fuse box is. On this car, as you can see, it's behind the glove box. So we open the glove box, push the 2 tabs in, yeah, there's one there, you can sort of push that in, one there, push that in, and there's a clamp here where it's like a hydraulic, and it basically pushes on, that goes on there, put something behind it, and push it off. When you've done that, you can drop your glove box down, pull it. It says doing it one-handed is a lot harder, I assure you. But basically, you pull it and the hinges pop off. Look, you can see that one's popped off, and that one will in a minute when I can hold it properly. And that gives you access to your fuse box. Now, yes, I've already powered this. I'll show you that very shortly on how you do it though. So, next up, once you've got that out of the way and found that, we're going to move to the corner of the dash. Corner of the dashboard, we're going to pop this panel off, and this is where you use your plastic leverage tool. There you go, take that off out of the way. Normally it's sort of lipped behind this rubber, so you've got to pull it a bit. We have a 12mm bolt here. You can undo that and use that for your black earth cable that comes from your power, which I have done. There's your earth cable, goes to that behind it. So you can take that out, pop the earth cable behind it, and then run your power cable through the side to your fuse box. Now, fuse box specifications do vary depending on spec of the vehicle and also country it's made, where it's shipped, etc., what components they use. So you will have to test your own fuses. Like I say, this is a UK model, right-hand drive, but please do test your own, don't just use the one I've used. So what we're going to do is get our multimeter or our test probe. With the ignition off, if we basically just touch the top of the fuse, yeah, one of the little metal bits that stick out, see that one's live all the time. That's no good. We don't want that, guys. You'll have a flat battery. What you're looking for is one that's not live, yeah? And it's got to be really a circuit, so we'll go to this 7.5, a circuit that's non-essential. There you go, that should be a switched. What you do then is turn the ignition on and check it again. If it lights up at 12 volts, or your light on your screwdriver lights up, you know it's an ignition switched. Check it a couple of times just to be sure. So if we go up again, that one's live all the time. I've used this one over here. On this particular vehicle, it's an accessory circuit. So what I've done is tested it. It goes on and off with the ignition. I've pulled the fuse out, which was a 10 amp. I've shoved it in the fuse spur just there, and there's the original fuse that was in there, the 2 or the 3 amp to run the camera. Power cable goes up and over and plugs into the red cable that came with your kit. So now all we've got to do is hide all this mess, cable tie it up, electrical tape, etc., stash it behind there, and give your camera a test. Okay, so I'm going to reach over now and pop the ignition on. We've popped the camera on the window. That's position 1 on the ignition for this particular fuse. And there we go. And off again. Perfect, just what we're looking for. Now all you've got to do is tidy your cable up, tuck it out of the way, click your glove box back in, connect your side piston there. There we go, glove box back in again nicely. Let's put the end cap back on the dash. Sometimes you have to give these a bit of a tap, depends how strong the clips are on it. Stick your little rubber trim back down the side there. And that's it, guys, you're good to go. You have finished your dash cam. Like I say, I'm using this particular one on this, but it doesn't matter, it will work with pretty much any. Hopefully this was useful to you. If you've got any questions, contact your retailers for anything regarding, dash cams as such. Thanks for watching, bye for now.